Hello, welcome everybody, welcome. It's Belinda here speaking to you from my studio shed for the Seven Jewels of Life in the heart of England in the Cotswolds, listening to Bob Marley singing No Woman, No Cry. I love this track, so I couldn't resist putting on some music from the area that we're going to talk about today, which is the mighty continent of North America, Canada, the Arctic Circle, Central America and the Caribbean, because today is the day of the sapphire. It's Friday. It's all about, the colour is blue. I'm wearing blue or turquoise today. And so before we start thinking about what the actual sapphire represents to us and areas where we can find joy and polish that sapphire jewel, just go a little bit more on the continent of North America, because today it is a time to celebrate its music, poetry, food and wisdom. So we could think of, for example, Chief Seattle, who said, "We did not weave the web of life, we are merely a strand in it. Whatever we do to the web, we do to ourselves." Chief Seattle, so amazing, reminding us to take radical responsibility for our actions, because they will impact the whole web. So brilliant. So today is the day of the sapphire. So in particular today, the sapphire represents communication, friendship, social life and fun and decision making. So communication, such a huge subject. There are so many ways in which we communicate, how we speak, how we listen, empathy, touch, body language. Just impacts everywhere, and often we get frustrated and we think we're not getting the reaction we want in a situation, and that could be because we're not communicating it as we should. And the thing is, if we don't communicate our wants and needs from a place of deep authenticness of what works for us, then we can't really point the finger at someone else and said, "You did this, you did that," because perhaps in a way, if we're not getting the result that we want, we're not communicating it right. So that's back to the radical responsibility again. Because if we don't voice our opinions, then it's so easy to become like a blank canvas that other stronger people will fill in for us. So before we know it, we're just agreeing with someone else's opinion just because, for a quiet life. I know that happened to me. I mean, often in the morning I'd agree with someone, and by the afternoon someone else said something, I said, "Oh, I agree with that as well." I completely lost my sense of authentic communication and what I said, expressing my wants and needs. And that very much ties in with your general well-being, because if we're not being able to do that, then that's going somewhere, that's going into stress and frustration, etc. So it's communication. And also it reminds us that we have two ears and one mouth for a reason, and it's so important to listen. And in North America, and the Indians, Native American Indians, they had this fantastic way of using a listening feather. So whoever was wanted to put a point over or speak held a feather up, so everybody in that moment knew that, right, we've got to listen. And it was their responsibility to listen, because they knew that they had to repeat back word from word what the speaker had said. So it's a great way of really feeling listened, which we all know is fantastic. And also, no Chinese whispers. Everybody got what was being said. So communication is huge. Also friendships. Remember your friends today. Is that an area you need to polish up a bit? Get in touch with people you haven't. Get more friends, contact the ones you haven't seen. And social life and fun. If that area is a bit dull in your life, think of doing something completely different, because we are essentially social beings, and we love to be seen and heard and to share with depth. That really makes us feel it's very nourishing for us to have that kind of depth of communication with other humans, beings. So how do you know when you're polishing your sapphire? You know when you're polishing your sapphire by how it makes you feel when you're able to communicate your thoughts, wants, needs in a way that you feel heard, and in a way that you can enjoy the company of others. So have a brilliant Friday, and look forward to seeing you tomorrow.